And welcome here to Talk FCB, and welcome back here to the channel, guys, for another video. Now, we're just building up to that Roma game coming up later on this evening. But what I thought I'd do with you here, guys, just give you a bit of a different video. Obviously, we don't always talk about transfers in the summer, in the winter. We're all over it. But in between times, I don't like to go over it too much. Don't like to bang on about transfers. But I do know you guys like a bit of transfer talk. So what I thought I would do with today's video is just go over a few things with you and basically just have a discussion. Because I was on Twitter, I saw that Anthony Martial will reportedly leave Man United this summer. That are the reports right now coming out of France. A lot of the French media are getting on this right now. Martial apparently has made up his mind. He wants to leave United. There was rumours about him potentially doing it last summer. It didn't happen, but apparently now he has rejected a contract offer from United and he will look to leave this summer. It's believed that he's very, very unhappy with playing time at Man United right now. He's down in the pecking order behind the likes of Marcus Rashford, who's being played in a wider area. Obviously, the arrival of Alexis Sanchez hasn't helped him either, and apparently as well, he might be unhappy with Jose Mourinho, the style that Man United are adopting right now, and he sees his future elsewhere. Now, I tweeted about that, and a lot of people came back to me saying, I would prefer Martial this summer over Antoine Griezmann, and that's a very, very interesting opinion. I'm not saying that's right or wrong. Obviously, opinions, everybody can have them, and I know there's a real sort of difference in the opinion with Antoine Griezmann. Some people really want him, other people really don't want him. So what I thought we'd do in this video is just discuss the differences between the two, what the two could bring to Barca, and at the end of it all, what would you rather do? Sign Martial this summer or sign Antoine Griezmann, as of course we've been massively linked to for many, many months indeed now. So what we're going to do basically is just to compare the two, obviously both French internationals, but to be honest, on the face of it, two very different players. For a start, Antoine Griezmann would be signed as a centre-forward, as a direct replacement for Luis Suarez, somebody who can lead the line, somebody who will score goals, somebody whose primary objective will to be in and around the box, scoring goals, looking to link up play, but ultimately to be that centre-forward player. If Anthony Martial potentially was signed, I'm not saying there's been any rumours at all linking him with Barca, but I know a lot of people would like to see Martial at the club. If he was signed, it would be more as a winger. He does like to take up very wide positions. He's extremely good on the ball. He's good in a 1v1. He's got a lot of pace, a lot of strength as well. And of course, he is able to play on both sides and is very easy to do that sort of role. Now, in terms of age as well, there is a significant difference between the two. You look at them, they're both French internationals. They both got a pretty decent experience right throughout their career so far. But like I say, in terms of age, there is a very big difference between the two of them. Antoine Griezmann, currently 27 years old. Anthony Martial, still just 22 years old. A lot of time there to improve, a lot of time to develop. And I still think there's some potential there that hasn't quite been unlocked with Martial, and there's certainly time to do it. Both of them play for France right now. Martial has 18 caps to his name, Antoine Griezmann with 51 caps, and hopefully, and it's expected that both of them will be going to the World Cup this summer with France and will be playing on the same team. When you look at experience though, it is certainly Antoine Griezmann, not only in terms of experience right throughout his career so far, of course he's played more games at the very top level in the very top competitions, but he's also of course got that La Liga experience. He's played in La Liga now for many, many years. He knows the league, he knows the language. That's a very important part as well. He's obviously a Spanish speaker. That can be a big thing in terms of integrating. We've seen it very, very difficult for Ousmane Dembele to settle in straight away because of that language barrier coming to Spain. Of course you can learn that in time, and like I say, Anthony Martial is just 22 years old. He would learn the language in time, but certainly in terms of hitting the ground running, Griezmann has been in Spain, he's done it there, he's proven in La Liga, he's proven in the big competitions. And if you just look at the stats from this season, for example, Antoine Griezmann, 27 league appearances, 18 goals in La Liga this season, and also 8 assists. Anthony Martial, 26 appearances in the Premier League for Manchester United, 9 goals and 5 assists as well. Which, to be fair, you know, in terms of Martial's stats, they're obviously not all about stats. You can combine and you can really be included in the game a lot more than stats will tell you. But on the face of it there, some very, very decent stats indeed, especially when you take into account that he has been very much this season a bit part player under Jose Mourinho. He's been in and out of the team. He has hardly been in the team for a sustained period of time, game in, game out. His confidence has certainly been effective. And like I said earlier on, there is definitely an element with Martial, especially for me, that there is a lot of talent there. When he came in from Monaco, when he broke onto the scene under Louis van Gaal, he was very, very good. He was electric. He was somebody who led that United team, who was really the master of that team in many ways. And I do do feel like under Mourinho, he's gone backwards, he's lost a lot of confidence. I don't think the style of play suits him. He's somebody who would much rather be playing on the offensive, higher up the pitch, looking to always attack teams, looking to get at them. Certainly somebody who, for me, fits the genuine Barcelona philosophy. He's definitely a winger who can keep his width. That's very, very important. But for me, this actually comes down to Ernesto Valverde and what his plans are for the immediate future. Because there's, for me, no good signing somebody like Martial, who's very much a pure winger, somebody who wants to stay wide, be a winger, high up the pitch. There's no point in signing somebody like that if we don't ever plan on going back to 4-3-3. If Valverde next season wants to go with this 4-4-2 formation even further, with no real good signing these kind of wingers, because you don't really need them in that 4-4-2 system. You can get centre midfielders, you can play them wide, you can get wide midfielders, but these kind of wingers, it's not ideal to have too many of them, because like we've seen this season, even somebody like Ousmane Dembele has struggled for minutes, sometimes in Valverde's system. Whereas, for instance, you look at somebody like Antoine Griezmann, and although on the face of it, you could say, you know, Luis Suarez is still in the team, when he's on form, he will play. So where exactly would Antoine Griezmann fit? If he is in the team, he will be able to easily slot in to that centre-forward position, and there will always be that available, either in the 2 with 4-4-2, and if you go with the 3 in the 4-3-3, he'll be able to slot into the centre of that position. Then, of course, you look to the transfer fee, which for me is obviously one of the massive things when you talk about transfers, and that again would probably side with Griezmann, simply because of the simplicity of his signing. It's a very straightforward process, it's a release clause, 100 million euros, and he's ours. As simple as that. You've got to agree wages, of course you have, but in terms of the deal with Atletico Madrid, it will be very straightforward, it's expected to be wrapped up very, very quickly. 100 million, we pay his release clause, and Antoine Griezmann is a Barcelona player. When you look at somebody like Anthony Martial, obviously United, in terms of their financial position, they have so much money, they will not sell anybody on the cheap. 40 million euros they signed him for up front, they gave to Monaco, but there was a lot of bonuses as well on that particular deal, and that could actually reach nearly 70 million euros if they meet all those add-ons, which I believe, as of right now, not all of those have been reached. There was things like Ballon d'Ors, Ballon d'Or nominations, things like that in that deal. So I would expect United to demand maybe around 70 million euros for Anthony Martial if he was to go this summer. Obviously right now we're definitely reporting on speculation, nothing at all confirmed, but Martial, I would say he'll definitely be on the market in the summer. Whether we'll be in for him, I don't know. I think the board, for me, have got their eye firmly on Griezmann. He's a sort of Galactico signing, he's one that will sort of get people talking, get people behind them, and I think Griezmann is definitely the route right now that Barcelona want to go down. But like I say, guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Would you rather go for a winger, somebody like Anthony Martial, who would maybe be a benefit to the entire team, or somebody like Antoine Griezmann, a star player, a star name, somebody who's proven at the very top level, 100 million euros to get him, but somebody for sure who will come in, hit the ground running, and score goals. And just before I do leave you guys, one more story that I do want to bring you on the transfer front, just to put it all in one video for you, is about Christian Eriksen. And this report came out yesterday from English source The Express, which I have to say is not the most reliable outlet ever, but they came out and said basically that Christian Eriksen, the Tottenham midfield that we all know him, Danish international, apparently is stalling once again on their contract situation. He has 2 years left on his current deal, but apparently he has not made any move at all to sign a new one at Tottenham, and according to The Express, Barcelona are in pole position if he does wish to leave the club this summer, and if Tottenham are willing to sell him. Now for me, that's really exciting, because I think even now, Christian Eriksen, only 26 years of age, he's been around for so long, really experienced in the Premier League, he's had so many good seasons, really, really consistent in that midfield position, somebody for me who fits the Barcelona style of play absolutely perfectly, and will be brilliant in our midfield, as potentially a replacement for Andres Iniesta. So that's a story I wanted to bring you there, guys. Let me know your thoughts on Eriksen. Do you think he would fit Barcelona? Do you think, though, honestly, that we have any chance of signing him? Do you see that one happening? I'm not so sure right now. I think we should have been interested in Eriksen for probably the last 2 or 3 years, but none whatsoever from the board. They've never really showed any kind of ambition to go out and target Eriksen, but maybe now his contract is just running down a little bit. 2 years left. Tottenham are ones that are very, very stubborn when it comes to contracts. They won't pay wages that are too high for their club's infrastructure. It will be really, really interesting to see what happens this summer when the likes of Martial could be on the move, maybe Christian Eriksen, and of course Antoine Griezmann looks all set to leave Atletico and is probably, let's face it, heading to Barcelona. Leave your thoughts down below, guys. guys. Griezmann or Martial for you? What do you think about Eriksen? I will see you later on for the game. But until then, as always, Vesca El Barça.